Welcome back to Unit 2, Lesson 3. In this lesson, we are actually not going to learn anything new. We're just going to practice what we learned in the first couple units, our first two lessons, and then we're going to have a quiz as our next evaluation. So what I've done is I've gone through the actual worksheet, and I have picked out problems. So I actually want you to work on this worksheet first, and then just use this video to go back and check some of these selected answers if you're having any type of trouble. Okay, also the answers will be posted so you can check your work. Okay, let's look at this first one. We've got 2b cubed minus 2b plus b cubed plus 6b squared plus 3b minus 7. Okay, so we're adding together. So that one's pretty easy because we don't have to worry about distributing a negative. We're just going to add our like terms. So let's look at our b cubed. So that's going to be 2b cubed, b cubed. That's 3b cubed. Okay, and then we have a b squared, but we don't have one in the front. So I'm just going to bring that plus b squared over. Okay, then I've got to look at this negative 2b and this positive 3b. Okay, negative 2 and positive 3 is positive 1b. And then I'm just going to bring over negative 7. So that one's pretty easy. We're just adding. Okay, now the second one is actually number 4. So 2 and 3 I felt like you could do easily, but 4 had a couple extra steps. The trick on 4 is you have to distribute first. So when we distribute, we're going to get 15x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15. Now in the back, we've got to distribute an x. So I'm going to get x times 2x squared, which is plus 2x cubed. Don't add those, that's multiplying. Okay, x times negative 3 is negative 3x squared, and then that's x times 5 is plus 5x. Okay, now we need to combine our like terms. Okay, I have two cubes, so that's going to be 15x cubed, and 2x cubed is 17x cubed. Okay, negative 9x squared, negative 3x squared, same sign I'm going to add, so that's negative 12x squared, and then 15 and 5x. Which one's going to go first? Well, I have a variable on this one, so I have to list that next, and then the 15. Okay, so you always want to put them in descending order, so the final answer is 17x cubed minus 12x squared plus 5x plus 15. Okay, so that was number 4. Now number 5 I thought might give you, I don't think it's hard, but we haven't really looked at how to multiply 3 binomials together. Well, what you're going to do is you're actually going to start just by multiplying 2 of them together. And on this one, we can be strategic. Which one would be the easiest to multiply together? X minus 2, x minus 3, and x plus 3. Well, I hope you said, oh, x minus 3, x plus 3, that's one of those special products. So let's look at that one. X minus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, when you multiply that out, FOIL it out, you get x squared plus 3x minus 3x minus 9. So your middle terms are gone, and you just end up with x squared minus 9. Okay, so that makes it really easy. And then let's just bring down that x minus 2 right here that we need to multiply by. So we multiply these two first, get our differences squares, and then bring down the x minus 2. Now let's FOIL. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 9 is negative 9x. Negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. And negative 2 times negative 9 is positive 18. Now, this is close, but this actually isn't the correct answer. We need to put it in descending order, and notice that square is back here. So I'm going to have to bring down x cubed, and then write my 2x squared, my negative 2x squared next, then the negative 9, and then 18. Now that's in the correct form. So there's my answer. Okay, so that was number 5. Now, number 7, we're going to multiply a trinomial times a trinomial. So let's look at that. We have x squared plus 2x minus 1 times 4x squared plus x minus 5. Now I'll just warn you, this one gets lengthy. Okay? We have to take each of these first terms in the first trinomial and distribute them in. So this one's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to have 9 terms to add together. So this is a really good time to stack them so that it makes it easier to multiply together. So x squared times 4x squared gives me 4x to the, well, I add the exponents to the 4th. Okay, so be careful there. X squared times positive x is positive x cubed. X squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. Okay, so I've distributed the first one all the way in. Okay, so now let's go back and distribute the 2x to each of the terms. Now I'm going to write this underneath to make them line up. Typically you're not going to line it up in the first one, you're going to start under the second one. But let's just double check. 2x times 4x squared. That's going to give me 8x cubed. Yeah, it's going to match up with this one, isn't it? Because these are both cubes. 2x times x gives me positive 2x squared. Remember, add exponents. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Okay, we're done with the second one. We've distributed it all the way in. Now let's take the negative 1 times each term. Negative 1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. Now notice each time I'm dropping one spot down, aren't I, when I line it up. Negative x, or negative 1 times positive x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Okay, now I'm going to draw my line and I'm going to add my columns up. Okay, 4x to the 4th, right? And then 1x cubed times 8x cubed is 9x cubed. Negative 5, positive 2, and then negative 4. That's going to give me what? Negative 7x squared. Now when you add, remember we don't change exponents, do we? We're just adding like terms. And then negative 11x plus 5. Okay. Whew, so a trinomial times a trinomial gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 terms. That's a lot. But if you line them up, it really does make it a little bit easier. Okay, so I wanted to definitely hit on one of those trinomials. Now, let's look at a couple with, number 9 has a fraction. So I thought that one might just bother you a little bit, and that's why I picked this one to go over. 2 thirds x squared, and then we have 8x minus 12x squared. Okay? Whoa, you can't see that one. Let's get that in the screen. There we go. Okay, so we have a monomial times a binomial. All we need to do is just distribute. But let's look at the fraction. When you multiply by a fraction, stick a 1 under your whole number. Okay? So we're going to have 2 thirds times 8 over 1. That's going to give me 16 thirds. Because, right, 2 times 8 is 16, 3 times 1 is 3. You just multiply the top and the bottom. And then x squared times x gives me x cubed. Okay, now let's multiply 2 thirds x squared times negative 12x squared. Well, again, stick a 1 under your 12. So 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. 3 times 1 is 3. And then x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. Okay, so there's our first step. We distributed in and multiplied by our fraction. Now we need to get it in the correct order. Notice this is a 4th degree, this is a 3rd degree, so I need to switch the orders. The other thing is this one reduces, doesn't it? So let's take it down to simplest form. 24 divided by 3 is just 8x to the 4th. And then it's still negative, so I got to bring the negative with it. And then I have a positive 16 thirds x cubed. And you just want to leave it, as an improper fraction. It's just a little bit easier to deal with. And there you go. So that was number 9. Okay, so that was one selected problem because it had fractions. I thought it might bother you just a tad. Okay, so let's look at number 15. Actually 14. 14 was the next one I thought you might have a little trouble with. Why do you think I chose this one? I hope you said fractions, because you're exactly right. Now, the nice thing about this one is it's the same thing in the front and the back, just the signs are different. So hopefully you remember, this is one of the special products. So you can multiply the first, multiply the last. You know the middle terms disappear, but we'll multiply it out just to make sure. So 2/5 x times 2/5 x. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 5 is 25. So 2/5 times 2/5 is 4/25. X times x is x squared. Now let's multiply outer. Positive, right? 2/5 xy. You just list those next to each other, x times y. Negative, right? Negative 2/5 xy. And then our last is a negative y times a positive y, which is a negative y squared. Okay, middle terms, what do you notice? They're same opposite signs, so they cancel. So we have 4/25 x squared minus y squared. And that's how you would multiply that one out, okay? Just has fractions. I thought it just might give you a little trouble. Okay, number 15. You can stop and watch it again if you didn't catch everything. Always use your video to help you. Okay, we have 8x plus 16 quantity squared. I chose this one, not because I didn't think you knew what to do. This one does have a trinomial answer, so you can have 3 terms. But I wanted to practice with you the shortcut. Okay, remember this is the same thing as 8 plus x, or 8x plus 16 times 8x plus 16, right? But we can also use the shortcut 8x quantity squared and 16 quantity squared. Okay, this is going to give me what? 64x squared and 256. Okay, and then remember we can multiply and double for the middle term. So you're going to multiply 8x times 16, and then you're going to double that. So let's see, that's going to end up being 256x. Okay, and that is your answer. So I wanted to go over that pattern again with you. Okay, so number 17, the only reason I chose this one to print out was because you have a variable in the back this time instead of a front, and sometimes that bothers people, but just go ahead and FOIL it out just like you normally would. So let's look at that one and how to FOIL that one. Okay, let me make sure, yeah, that's on your screen. Okay, so you got 2 minus 25x. Now this is a special product. Think about this one. Is the middle term going to disappear, or is the middle term going to double? This one, with the opposite signs, the middle term disappears. So let's do it the shortcut way. We know that we do first times first, or 4. Outer and the inner are both going to be positive 50x, negative 50x. So they're gone. And then we can do negative 25x times positive 25x, which is negative 625x squared. And there's our answer right there. Now, is it in descending order? No. We really should flip-flop it around so it looks like that. Oop, don't let me forget my square. There we go. That's actually the most correct form of that problem. Negative 625x squared plus 4. Okay, so now let's jump down to another special product. Okay, number 21. I chose this one. Why do you think I chose this one? Because we have a negative 5 in the front. We really haven't done those yet, but let's see if you can just apply your rules and see if you can do it without a lot of help. Okay, so you have negative 5a and negative 2b, and we're doing quantity squared with that. Okay, so we can use the shortcut if we want. Negative 5a quantity squared, negative 2b quantity squared, and then we'll multiply and double for the middle. Okay, so on this one we're going to get 25a squared and positive 4b squared, and then when we multiply those together we're going to get positive 10ab, right? So we're going to multiply these together and then double it. Okay, so there's the doubling, there's the multiplying. So 10ab times 2 is 20ab. And there you go. So there's the answer to that one. Okay, so that's all positive. Isn't that cool? It's because you squared a negative. Okay, number 23. You're going to find the area of that rectangle in terms of x. Okay, remember area. Area is length times width. Okay, so you